Hello and many thanks that we are meeting again on another episode of the Diaspora, coming to you on the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Usman Aliyu. Technical Aid Corps has been a very significant tool for diplomacy and international relations. In fact, Technical Aid Corps is among the basics of Nigeria's foreign policy, designed to foster cooperation, thereby creating and providing manpower assistance in specific areas of interest and need to countries like Africa, Pacific, and the Caribbean. Nigeria too is gaining a lot in this technical aid support. Recently, the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps from Nigeria met with some development partners of Costa Rica at the permanent mission of Nigeria in the United States of America. They discussed on ways to support Nigeria to achieve sustainable development goals.
The Directorate scheme has actually been able to concentrate on peace building, capacity building, and sustainable development in those countries that Nigeria is actually supporting through SASA cooperation. And I want to let us be aware that TAC is relevant to Nigeria in the following ways. With TAC, partner countries can truly influence the development of this new international standard for development finance. Going by the Addis Ababa outcome, we can see that TAC is also an inclusive data management. It's a data management approach that makes all countries and international institutions move much more involved beyond the traditional northern providers. We are moving from north-south to south-south cooperation now. And then it also helps Nigeria to confirm and complement information available in Nigeria about ongoing development intervention. It also informs Nigeria's report on monitoring of implementation of SDGs, thereby contributing to discussion on how providers can better align their funding to the priorities in our National Development Plan, which is the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, which was developed in 2017. And then it also represents an opportunity to give Nigeria more visibility internationally as a provider of South-South cooperation. TAC will provide information on Nigeria's contribution to achievement of sustainable development of other countries, particularly through its technical cooperation anchored by the Directorate of Technical Cooperation. And the evidence of our commitment as a country, because Nigeria is a pioneer member of International Task Force from TAC, and which actually developed the statistical parameter of the framework for TAC. And Nigeria has also hosted TAC pilot study in 2018 successfully, the result of which we are presenting today. And Nigeria has participated in numerous TAC-related events in the last 2 years. And we have also responded to TAC data survey that took place in 2019. And the representative of Nigeria has participated in several events, including side events, the most recently organized at the European Development Days in June 2019 in Brussels. And Nigeria can further support TAC by championing the anchoring of the framework within the United Nations. The stakeholders in Nigeria actually supported the establishment of TAC as a shared international statistical framework for connecting and monitoring resources in support of SDGs from various sources. It's all inclusive. It's an inclusive arrangement. And TAC is also perceived as a useful global tool for mobilizing additional resources, showing, among other things, how official finance can mobilize other public or private resources. And overall, there was wide support for TAC methodology as designed by the International TAC Task Force. Nigeria's stakeholders also agreed with the various definitions and methods proposed by the task force. And stakeholders appreciated the inclusion of private finance mobilized in framework, highlighting that the effectiveness of operations involving the private sector should be closely looked at when recording them in TAC. Then concrete suggestions were made by Nigeria to fine-tune the TAC methodology. For example, the inclusion of short-term finance flows or a reference to the importance of effectiveness principles of TAC activities. Estimated order of magnitude, then these figures are probably largely underestimated as they do not include flows for major emerging providers. For instance, ODA to Nigeria amounted to $2.7 billion in 2016. Then there is capacity gap on collection of development finance information due to lack of institutional mechanism or effective information system to easily collect information on overall developmental flows to the country. And there is also the need for further training on the exact information to be collected. Like in the course of our discussion, we saw that we need much more capacity, because even to what we are to aggregate, to have holistic data, we need it. Then the issue of timeliness and comprehensiveness faced by the Development Cooperation Report of Nigeria, produced using development standard database, are symptomatic of the downstream effect of capacity issues in data collection, and suggestions and recommendations arising from the outcome of the survey as follows. Then, number one, we will recommend that there should be support to an expansion of modules in the development and start database that Nigeria developed in collaboration with UNDP in 2011. I mean, the objective of the database of the infrastructure was to achieve both multilateral and bilateral organizations' intervention and ODA support to Nigeria as a veritable tool for TOSD data for Nigeria. Then the data infrastructure can store information on Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 of TOSD with synergy to store data on grants, concessionary and non-concessionary loans, as well as South-South and triangular cooperation handled by the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps. Then TOSD should not underestimate the importance of institutional capacity to collect and manage credible data. And as I am concluding, I want to seize this opportunity on behalf of the Director General that we thank the TOSD Task Force member countries for choosing Nigeria as pilot country for testing TOSD data collection methodology that was actually developed.
I'm certain that today's meeting would create opportunity for advancing our collective understanding on the various forms of development assistance, official and unofficial, private and public, countries receive and extend in support of each other's efforts to leave no one behind in the achievement of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. I'm glad that the TOSD Secretariat has taken it upon itself to measure these flows and has come up with both a measurement matrix and a preliminary result. I'm convinced that the preliminary result, which will soon be shared with us, will reveal that contrary to the notion that official development assistance is solely a North-to-South affair, a number of countries and institutions from the Global South have been involved in providing some form of development assistance. I'm glad to know that the TOSD Secretariat has developed some statistical methodology for measuring other forms of ODA from southern countries and institutions, and that the first result of his survey is ready. I urge us to interrogate this novel TOSD measurement standard objectively with a view to ascertaining its merits and encouraging its possible adoption by relevant UN agencies. Distinguished colleagues and participants, it is my hope that preliminary result would complement the information available to both Nigeria and Costa Rica, inform our collective and individual future reports on SDGs monitoring and implementation, and further deepen understanding of the continued advocacy, particularly by the G77 and China, on the importance of aligning ODA with national development plans and priorities of the developing and benefiting countries.
We believe that it is fundamental to continue an open and transparent discussion around the measurement of development flows, including initiatives such as that of TOSD, which intends to support the SDGs Global Indicators Matrix as a source of information for a number of SDG indicators. TOSD could also be a useful tool in closing the information gap in the SDGs financing by involving the private sector, venturing into new concessional and non-concessional instruments, and measuring all the available sustainable development resources that are not being recorded in current statistics, in order to go from billions to trillions of dollars that are needed to finance the SDGs. For that reason, Costa Rica in Central America, small country, with a population of 5 million people, has actively participated, and this is a trademark of the country, of Costa Rica. We actively participate in whatever we volunteer it to do.
It is a statistical measure, so meant to measure with the statistical rigor the flows in support of sustainable development. It's above all a transparency measure. That is a key distinction between TUSSD and the currently existing ODA measure. ODA is meant to measure donor efforts. It's linked to targets that some donors are committed to achieve. TUSSD is about showing recipient countries what resources they have at their disposal to achieve the SDGs.
Let's meet Isaac Inyang and other Nigerians there in the United States of America. Let us hear what they have and their thinking, including advice to youth from Nigeria.
Well, the way forward in NIDO is that we want to build a very strong organization. We want to make sure that we reach out to all different tribes in Nigeria. We want to make sure that NIDO touches the youth. One of the key that we have done in this current administration is to bring the youth into the executive position. So 90% of the new elected officers in the board of directors are youth. They are new into NIDO. So we think it is time to transform NIDO, to bring good programs into NIDO. I have served in many capacities in helping to attract a lot of business into Nigeria. I did work on the Nitel deal. I worked also on Zikem Pharmaceutical. I also worked with the power sector of Nigeria in seeing what I can contribute. One of my key projects that I did was the One Village, One Product, which says that every local government should invest in where they have the comparative advantage. I worked with SMEDA when they were an infant to be able to build a lot of structure in SMEDA. And I think currently, based on the foundation that we've contributed, including the industrial park, we were to have the industrial park, we were supposed to have the oil and gas industrial park. All those things are those dreams that I dream that one day we will be able to actualize all these wonderful projects in order to bring Nigeria back to the world market. Nigeria has so much potential. If you look at the population, you look at the natural resources, we need to tap the diasporas. Because if you look at India, India became a great nation by utilizing all the skill from the diasporas. When you look at China, China became great because they tap into the knowledge of the diaspora. So I think it is time for the Nigerian government to partner seriously, take it serious, and make sure that they partner with the NIDO for NIDO to help them to brand the image of Nigeria. I remember when we did the roadshow, when His Excellency El Rufai, His Excellency Ngozi, and a couple of key ministers came on a trade show into New York. We visited the Wall Street and we told Wall Street that Nigeria is ready for business. I think the current administration have the same opportunity to make sure we come out to tell the world that Nigeria is ready for business. And there's a lot of incentive that doing business in Nigeria. If we can highlight those incentives to the foreign direct investment and attract them into Nigeria, we could make Nigeria a great economy. Take, for example, the diaspora contributes $28 billion into Nigerian economy. Now, as NIDO, we have decided that we will try to tap only 2% and inject it into a Nigerian economy to be able to make difference. We are currently registering a company called NIDO Americans Investment and Project Management Guarantee Limited Guarantee Trust. And this is a company that will be driving a lot of investment from overseas, especially from Americans, into Nigeria. So we are serious about this. We are ready to partner with the government. We're going to align the vision that we have for NIDO to impact both Nigerians that are within the US and the Nigerians that are outside. The key, we want to make sure that we develop a database of all Nigerians, professional-wise. We want to make sure that we advocate for voting rights. We want to make sure that all Nigeria has the right to vote as long as you are Nigerian. We want to make sure that we attract a lot of foreign investment into Nigeria to make the economy a little bit solid. We want to make sure that we engage the youth that are homeless, that are jobless, that the unemployment are seriously affecting. We want to go there and make sure that we work with the youth, partner with the youth, especially our ICT program, which we did during the D-Day this year, had a lot of impact on our youth. And I think we would like to expatiate on that area.
Those parts of the world that we call abroad, obviously there is something very special. We may really not have it, but there's nothing wrong for you to go and get what you don't have, to bring it to where you believe that if you utilize it, it will help others. So as far as our youth is concerned, if you go and educate yourself somewhere, you learn experience, the one that we don't have back home, with a fresh ideology in the way system is being run abroad, in the way education is being taught abroad, in the way the modern world approach of doing research is done. I am advising the youth of Nigeria to try and remember that back home needed it more than where we are now. We may be seeing things in the sense of material, but I believe we need it more back home. And it's only when we put hands together as youth, because our effort and contribution may have impact that we may not know. The more we believe that back home can be fixed, it is only because we believe in ourselves as youth, since one hands cannot do it. So by putting hands together as youth, come back home and put hands together. No matter how long the day, night will come. I believe we can do it and make Nigeria better.
My name is Stella Damasis. I'm an actor, a singer, teacher, and an entrepreneur. My advice to Nigerian youth is be yourselves and get as educated and as informed as you can, because the world as we see it today is no longer in the hands of the older people. This generation determines what will happen to the future of Nigeria and Nigerians wherever they are. So wherever you are able to get information, and whatever you can do to support each other, to make things better, to make things different from what we have been doing, please go ahead and do it without fear, without thinking about, what will this happen, and be who you want to be. Gone are the days where people will tell you what you should do, who you should be, and not be who you want to be, and stand by your truth. And don't wait for somebody else to make life better for you. Go out there and get it for yourself.
I'm the president of Nigerian Youth in Diaspora Engagement Forum, a forum I founded last year for the sole purpose of bringing Nigerian youths that are living in the diaspora together so we can bring about solutions, create ideas that would create that would generate solutions in Nigeria. A lot has happened this year about Nigerians, especially this year. Watching the news, Nigerians are frauds, Nigerians were busted for internet frauds, Nigeria were busted for different things, and this is a shame to us, and I see myself as an ambassador of Nigeria, and seeing this happening to us, I mean, we're being discriminated everywhere. Once people hear that we're Nigeria, we're like, oh, Nigeria in quotes. So I thought about how do we promote our own brand? There are a lot of Nigerians that are doing great stuff in this America, in other countries, in the diaspora generally, but the news doesn't even talk about them. But once there's this negative thing about Nigeria, oh, everybody wants to take it, everybody wants to carry it. Well, how come we have Nigerians that are doing great? Let us promote ourselves, promote our brand, and let the world see who we are as Nigerians.
The government of Nigeria is always thinking and providing opportunities for her citizens. Let's hear from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Social Investment.
Primarily for me, what concerns me and my office has to do with the multidimensional approach to the eradication of poverty. Had a lot to do with the progress a lot of countries have made and will intend to make in terms of alleviating poverty and giving people equal opportunity to be able to lift themselves up by the bootstraps and get out of poverty. So what primarily concerns me is the multidimensional approach and the focus and attention world leaders are given to this issue of eradication of poverty, and especially us in Nigeria, that the President has made a clear mandate in his inaugural speech on Democracy Day that he intends, on all intents and purposes, to make sure that we get 100 million people out of poverty. But what is very interesting is that when I attended some of the events for the 100 most influential people of African descent, I met a lot of people who are, Afrocentric in the sense that the Afro origins, who are from Indonesia, members of parliament, who are from Australia, who are from China, who are from Malaysia, who are from different parts of the world. They have come together, a lot of Americans as well, who have all come together to make sure that, they give back, or, we kind of support each other, that there's a network and ecosystem of people of African descent to be able to lift each other up. So it has been an incredible experience, and I'm highly honored. And my message is that I hope that the next time that this event will be holding, I hope it will be holding in Nigeria, because Nigeria being the biggest black nation in the world and the biggest nation in terms of economy and size and population in the subcontinent of Africa, I hope that Nigeria would lead the way in making sure that it drives this agenda going forward.
And that's our package for the diaspora. We thank you sincerely for being part of us. Let's meet again in another edition.